Investor here, bringing you another independent analysis. This time we're taking another look at ticker symbol MGT, Management Capital Investments, also known as McAfee Global Technologies. The chart we're looking at today is a 15-minute chart. Each candlestick representing 15 minutes of trading, so we go back 4 days on the chart. Now right off the bat, we have three main points: 320, 255, 203. See, when we opened here, the price did have support at 320, but on that day it broke down, and then it was staircase mode all the way down to $2.03. So we do have support at 255, but that support didn't hold at all on the way down. $2.03 almost broke as well. It did break a little bit there, but it consolidated back up. Huge green candle pushed us above the pivot point at 255, but we couldn't hold support above 255. Once again, dipping down below. And you can see today we actually had the wick of that candle literally testing 255 again, and it got denied hard. We had the high at 255. That candle closed all the way down at 240. Very hard denial. And the rest of the day, it got lower and trailed off. So you could see that we do have a channel now between 255 and $2.03. But that's a fairly wide channel. 255 you can consider our hard resistance, 203 our hard support. But it looks like we do have a little micro channel in between there, because our price has been, consolidating for a while in between about 225 and 255. So you could say maybe that there's some light support either around 220 or 230. And it looks like 230 is more of the mark. Let's just kind of make that light support there, right at $2.30. Let's see if we can make that a little cleaner. Yeah, there we go. So I think you could absolutely say that we have some light support right around $2.30. Maybe even a little lower. Not quite 225. Right, it's like literally like 229. Let's just say 230. So $2.30 light support, $2.03 hard support. Then we have hard resistance at 255 and hard resistance at $3.20. Now, taking away that soft support, let's look at our moving averages. We don't want too many lines on here cluttering everything up. It's already a lot of lines with those moving averages all consolidating in the same area. So when we see our moving averages all kind of come together, that's when we know that we're in a channel. You can see this whole time the moving averages were real loose. We just kept going down, kept going down, kept going down. But as our price consolidates and channels more and more and more, namely in this area here, you can see that our moving averages all kind of clustered together, especially today. A lot of clustering on moving averages. That indicates that we're in a channel, and we do know one thing happens when you're in a channel. We either break to the upside or we break to the downside. So I guess two things, really. But we just have to figure out which direction it's going to break to. So we can use the relative strength index down here at the bottom to kind of get an idea of the overall trend. Let's take a look at where we went oversold. So I'm just drawing marks on where we went oversold from overbought specifically. All right, now let's see exactly where those levels are. So that actually tells us that we have a little bit of good news. You can see this entire time oversold was lower, oversold was lower, oversold was lower. Our candles, our price per share was just getting hammered. But the next oversold point was higher, and the next oversold point is also higher. That indicates that on the intraday level, we are actually uptrending a bit. Now, that needs to be said with a grain of salt. The overall trend is still down from when we had our highs almost at $5 or so a few weeks ago. But on an intraday level, the last 2 days, our trend is up a bit more. So even though we're channeling, I think there's more potential that we break to the upside through this channel just based off the relative strength index. Of course, there's still ugly signs on this chart, namely the 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average, this red line right here, we never want that to be above the other moving averages, and we never want that to be above our candles unless we're going short on a stock. In this situation, we have the worst of both cases. Now, what's interesting is you can see the 200-day moving average literally acted as resistance right there. And the whole way down here, all the moving averages kind of acted as resistance. Even our fastest 13-period moving average. Usually I do a 10 or 13-day period moving average for the blue line. In this case, it was a 13-day moving average. So we're still below the 200-day moving average. What's good is that we did kind of push up above our candles. We're not below them all like we were around here when the downtrend was really strong. So for the upside, our relative strength index, we've gone to a higher oversold area, and our candles are trying to get above the moving averages. So it's trying to reverse the trend. There's still a lot of downward pressure on it, especially from that 200-day moving average. But I do see that the trend is trying to reverse. So I'm going to look for another test of 255. Now, of course, when that happens, we can form a potential double top because we tested it here. So another recent test could be a double top. But I think there's a chance we might break up. We really need to see what happens next week. Unfortunately, the market's closed on Monday, so that means we're going to have to wait until Tuesday. But I look forward to catching you guys on that Tuesday. Let's see what MGT does, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.